Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Oh good, time to break out the old flamethrower. Pity there's no treasure in here this time. Nothing says savior of the world like exterminating dozens of species of plant life. Fun fact, this is the last hard version of a dungeon up until at least patch 7.0. Don't worry, it doesn't make this dungeon any more difficult than last time. Time to learn about St. Mocianne's Arboretum hard. Simplified. Head up the stairs and turn right. Pull all of the mobs down the path until you have to turn slightly left. Stop here and kill everything while watching out for the Belladonna's cast of Silken Spray, which is a large conal AoE behind it. It can also cast Fronde Fatale, which is a staring contest. If you don't look away from this, you'll become seduced, lose control of your character for several seconds, and you'll be unable to avoid the Silken Spray conal AoE if you're in it. And the Appa can cast Mudstream, which is a medium-sized AoE underneath a random player. If you get hit by Mudstream, you'll get an insuperable heavy debuff. Once everything has been defeated, the logs will break, and 2 more Belladonnas will aggro the closest player. Tanks can grab these and head around the corner to the lily pads where a bunch of small Dorpicores will spawn in. Watch out for the small AoEs called Muddy Puddles. These will give you an insuperable sludge dot tick that stacks with as many as you get hit by. Kill everything and make your way over the bridge. First boss time. Nulchu will cast Odious Air, which is a wide conal AoE directed towards the main tank. This will give you an insuperable poison debuff if you don't get out of it in time. Nulchu will use Vine Whip. It is a tank buster and it's not super effective with cooldown usage. An untargetable Rafflesia will land somewhere in the arena. Keep this in mind for what will be coming soon. One player in the group will get crosshairs. This player will need to separate themselves away from the group and away from the Rafflesia. A few seconds later, there will be a lingering poison puddle where this player was standing. If you run through this, you will get a pollen dot tick and a heavy debuff for as long as you're in it. Right after this, one player will get a stack marker with the cast Fault Warren. Group up to share the damage. Nulchu will then turn to Rafflesia and cast Devour. It will jump to the Rafflesia and eat it. Nulchu will stay in this spot but turn around to the open area of the arena and perform a very large straight line AoE from its position. You will need to be on the side of the arena where the Rafflesia was in order to dodge the massive AoE from Nulchu. If you get hit by the large straight line AoE, you'll get an insuperable poison dot tick. After repeating the tank buster and following another Rafflesia dropping into the arena, all 4 players will get a medium-sized point-blank AoE on them with the cast of Taproot. Just spread out and avoid overlapping these. It will then turn to the next Rafflesia and perform Devour again, so you'll need to be close to the Rafflesia to dodge the next large AoE. Mechanics will begin to double up and repeat until Nulchu has been defeated. Head up the tree roots and jump down the hole to the next area. Grab everything and pull all the way to the next wall. Watch out for the blooming Beloko's cast of Roly Poly. This will have a dark circle AoE on the ground. Anything that is within the circle, mobs and players alike, will be turned into Corpicores and be unable to perform any abilities or actions for several seconds. However, this cast is interruptible and stunnable. Tanks, it's best to try and position the mob so everything can be hit by the AoE, while the other party members can get out of it and make everything easier to burn down. Just avoid all of the AoEs from the mobs and kill everything. The next pull is pretty much the same as the first. Pull everything to the wall, avoid the roly-poly AoE, and get everything hit by it to make it easier to burn down. Kill everything, the wall will disintegrate, and it's second boss time. Stone 2 is a tank buster. The walls will be covered in an AoE that will change into vines. Going through this will give you a vuln stack as well as a dot tick called Stab Wound for as long as you're in it. Tectonics is a room-wide AoE. Conveyor belt-like AoEs will appear on the ground with arrows that indicate which way the AoE will push you, while Lakhamu will cast Landslip. Whichever way the arrows are moving will push you half of the length of the arena. At the same time as this, a number of rock golems will spawn on one side of the arena and will cast a straight line AoE that will cover 1/4 of the arena. So you'll need to make sure that you aren't standing in a golem's path when the cast ends. To make sure that you aren't, you'll want to position yourself on one of the conveyor belts to be pushed into a non-golem path. So for instance, if you want to be in column 3, you'll want to be standing on column 1. Remember, it doesn't push you the whole way, just halfway. If you get hit by a golem's AoE, it will give you a Von stack. Lakhamu will get an AoE around her while casting Earthquake. This AoE will progress outwards into a donut AoE after the initial AoE goes off. So you want to stand outside the first hit and then progress into it after it goes off to avoid the donut. 2 party members, normally the DPS, will be targeted with Earthshaker. This will be a narrow conal AoE directed through these players' positions. They'll just need to spread out and avoid overlapping these. Empty Gaze is a staring contest. You'll just need to look away from Lakhamu by the time the cast ends. If you don't do this, you'll be hit with Hysteria and lose control of your character for several seconds. Towards the end of the fight, Landslip will have 2 additional golems on the side. This will leave 2 conveyor belts unable to be utilized to move. So you'll want to do the same as before, but make sure that you're standing on a non-golem conveyor belt. From here, mechanics will overlap and repeat until Lakhamu has been defeated. Head up the ramp and follow the path to the left. Pick up the mobs and head down the stairs. Pull all of the mobs at the bottom of the stairs and DPS everything down. Watch out for the Muddy Martyr's cast of Embalming Earth, as this will be a very hard hit if you get hit by it. The Muddy Martyr also has a buff called Muddy. This will act like a Vuln down, which reduces the damage inflicted on it. Once everything has been defeated, the gate will open. All of the mobs in the next 2 pulls will have the buff of Muddy. Pull everything, head through the opening, and go to the wall on the right. There will be an interactable lever labeled Water Conduit. When this lever is pulled, it activates a nearby shower of water. When the mobs are dragged into the shower of water, they will all become clean and lose their Muddy buff, which will make them easier to DPS down. Kill everything and the gate will open. Head up the stairs and make your way to the the final boss, which is a massive pile of shit. Mudsling is a tank buster. The liquid underneath the platform will look like it's beginning to boil. After a few seconds, it will spurt through the grates on the arena. You will need to stand on a green platform to avoid this attack. If you fail to do so, you will be thrown into the air. Quagmire, giggity, will target every party member with a point-blank AoE. This will douse all players in a muddy sludge. You will need to be standing on a grate in the arena and off the green platforms. If you're staying on a platform when this goes off, it will create a lingering AoE on the platform which will give you a vuln up as well as a sludge dot tick for as long as you're standing in it. Mud Pie will create a small targetable ad that cannot be destroyed. You will want to leave this for someone who knows what they're doing, as this will be important. The Mud Slime cannot be hit by any of the boss's attacks or damaging AoEs. To move the slime, you will need to hit it with a damaging move, ability, or spell. This means that it needs to be on a green platform when the arena starts to boil, and you can't hit it with any of the Quagmire AoEs. After a few mechanics, the Mud Slime will explode. If it has taken no damage, it will explode in a small AoE, so you'll just need to be away from it to avoid the small explosion. If it has been hit once, it will send out a hard-hitting room-wide AoE. If it gets hit twice, it will explode and give everyone an incinerable damage down and have the damage to potentially wipe the party. Royal Flush is a point-blank AoE around the boss. Bog Bequest is a donut AoE from the boss's position. Just dodge out of these to avoid them. 2 Muddy Dorpicores will spawn in. They will have a small AoE called Muddy Puddles, which can also increase the size of the Mud Slime if it gets hit by them. Just nuke them down as they don't have a lot of health. When the next Mud Slime spawns in, it will be targeted by the boss with a conal AoE called Feculent Flood. You'll just need to move the slime so it's out of the conal AoE. From here, mechanics will begin to repeat until the Tokupchi has been defeated. Congratulations, you have beaten St. Mocianne's Arboretum again. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.